Direction. Mommy! I didn't have anything to say, so you gotta work with that. Guys, my Hakyugo cope is here. Kinda. When season 8 aired, I never thought it would get this much of an upgrade. I know it's only one episode, but overall the show has been consistent in all fronts. But this episode kind of stripped off the usual My Hero of the content, more so about the action. Because if you compare to the movie to the TV series, it's vastly different on how they handle the action. One is limited to the source material, and one is hands on deck with the staff can do whatever they want. And of course the tight schedule for the TV series. But this episode broke that chain that MHA couldn't do and created some of the most ambitious action I've seen this year, while also making the emotional moments still impactful as the action. There's a lot to unpack because this is a special episode in terms of how the staff list was created, you can say. So yeah, surprise, boom. There's calm on your hand. This is not your normal MHA episode because it's not by the regulars. Of course, there's still some, but the director, storyboarder, and some of the main highlight cuts are by people that's not usually in MHA. Going through the staff, it's basically a hybrid of One Piece episode 1074. Because of Nanami Michibata storyboarding and directing this episode, same goes with Honehone / Sota Shigetsugu storyboarding, gathering together again on a different project. With also Hiroko, I don't know why Kohei Hirota used a pen name. People said it's an inside joke with Vincent, so I'm guessing he's using it just for that, not to actually hide his name, because he's listed as a key animator in this episode. And he also said it on his Twitter. Michiru Itabisashi is also the other episode director credited. The key animator list is stacked. There's regulars like Jason Yao, Shun Shibata, Miyu Nakano, and a lot more. Then you have the guest animators. I'll get to that soon. It looks like from Vincent's tweet, the deadline got pretty close, maybe neck and neck, with the episode finishing on time, so Vincent helped animate a bit with Hirota's stuff too. Oratsu also said that the Elo and Genga were made in May, so makes sense why in the trailers and the final product some of the shots were different in terms of post-processing. Now, I'm not the most confident about who did who in terms of storyboards. I know Hirota did the bakugo and deku segments. Also, he only did the action parts while being the action supervisor too. And Honehone probably did the end parts, more so maybe the B parts of when Bakugo started exploding shit and Vincent was just chance sorting all over our faces. So that leads to the conclusion that maybe Michibata did boards the non-action stuff, or maybe the segment after Hirota. I could be wrong. Please in the comments if I am, because I'm not a narcissist. This episode shows that it's not just animation that makes a fight visually stunning to look at. It's also the boards and editing of this fight that makes it cohesive, even though it's going at Mach 20. This is Hiroto's first time storyboarding, but as an action animator and someone who is influenced a lot by Nakamura, he understands the scale and the grandest nature of this fight. The split screen with the constant eye flares was such a good idea. I have an inkling that maybe Anna Yamaguchi, the series director, maybe was the one that pitched that idea, since she loved those split screen. I could be wrong. Honehone's segment is absolutely crazy. Someone who is climbing as being one of the best action directors right now, and also has boarded two characters that have explosive powers, Rize and Bakugo, since he is the action director for the Chainsaw Man movie. The scale and sheer firepower that they displayed for Bakugo is just amazing. Added to that, the comp just kicked up a notch this episode. It really showcased the rough and bombastic nature of this fight. Different style effects that is helped with the post-processing. I mean, overall the episode, even in the non-action parts, the drawings, comp, and art direction is just levels above than usual. Well, maybe not the art direction. Sometimes I see it and I'm like, oh, okay, Taylor Musa. The next minute they do a random terrorist attack like that's the only negatives I can point out. Maybe this shot, the background didn't really mix well with the characters, and maybe this looks a bit janky, but shit looks cool, so who really cares? Going back to the action, I think the editing is spectacular. It's the same thing that Miso always does. I've always complimented how he handles fast-paced action with multiple cuts, but it makes sense. Same with this. The action was impactful, but it wasn't just action, action, action. There's times where some scenes let us breathe. The hold and release is something I really like about this episode. Maybe like this shot of Bakugo and Deku, or Bakugo charging up, or the Go Beyond shot, of course, reminds me of the JJK Season 2 thing. Very good use of manga panel shots. There's the build up and then it just goes ballistic. I think that's really important when there's so much going on. Shots like these where you can visualize it with perfect timing. Example, the way they did Bakugo going hella fast. The shot goes monochrome with the raindrop stopping. Then boom, fireworks with multiple different shots. It's stellar. The way they animated Bakugo just tumbling around and just went into a fucking building. By the way, great shot with the CG. All for One closing into the camera and it's Kagenashi. And the POV with Bakugo as he ravaged a studio. Maybe Jason Yao referenced his own deaths for this. I don't know. If you've watched the Chainsaw Man movie, they really showed Rize's firepower. I mean, Bakugo cuts alone reminds me of the movie. I mean, it's Hone boarding it, so it makes sense. We gotta give props more to the episode directors to not just processing the storyboards, but also the music placements and the sound effects are incredible. I've always said how exceptional my hero is when it comes to the impactful moments because the sound direction is immaculate. Yuki Hayashi's music will give me sperm cramps. Okay, why did I say that? The music, but more impressively, the way they place certain sound effects, like the screeching noises when everything is slowed down with Bakugo is amazing. And the way Yuki Hayashi composes music so it perfectly blends with the vibe switch is cinema, man. I love the slow burn of everyone's day-to-day life, and this shot where we get the slow-mo of everyone's faces was... God, man. That shit kinda got me. The drawing quality this episode was consistently amazing. We had 4 ADs and 2 assistant ADs. It's a great showing this episode in terms of drawing quality. Even though Umakoshi and Yamaguchi is in this episode, we can still see some of the animator's own drawing not being corrected, leaving it raw. Yeah, raw. Yeah, like Toshiki Sato's drawing with the more angular shaped face with multiple lines for the line art gives off that rough nature. Shuhei Fukuda's very Utapon-esque drawing. Small cut of Vincent's drawing with Bakugo's mouth. Very volumetric, like always. Of course, Umakoshi did God's work. Some drawing screams Umakoshi and it looks fantastic. Same goes with Yamaguchi. She did provide us with the correction sheets on Twitter. She did an amazing job as always. Very different drawing style from the usual stuff she does. Very rough, more sharper you can say. Now, some breakdowns. Woo! I definitely love scripting these guys. Anyways, Hirata's segment, I'll just put the animator's name top left because it switches a lot. Hirata's continuating scene from previous episode, the comp looks amazing. And then Isuta Meister, another Utapon inspired animator. I mean, the weight of everything as Bakugo majestically falling down and the scale, animating also the background and the immense amount of water animation. I think Jason Yao has evolved so much in My Hero. Deku slowly turning and the eye flare adds so much. And for the trailer, they shot not Kagenashi but very minimalistic coloring and the volumetric drawing. The amount of effects here is crazy to look at, and Vincent randomly just animating buildings. His relation with background animation is like me with Hibiki Euphonium. It goes together really well. I fucking love Mio Nakano's cuts. She's like a complete animator. Her character acting is great, her drawings, even such a simple scene is so good and packed with detail. The blue and orange remains from the twirly move thing that they did. The environment is interacting and making it more appealing. How this blue comes across Deku's face. Ranma's cuts are amazing, the multicolored effects, and I love this close shot of Bakugo with the red effects. Even though it's repeating, you still feel that Bakugo is zooming, and these impact frames by Ranma is holy chef's kiss, man. Oh my god. And Tentoten contributed a bit with great drawings of Deku. I mean, Tentoten with good drawings and subtle character movements. I mean, hair moving. The man is just perfect at this field. Shu Sugita, the effects man, character acting man, impact frames man, everything. So much Jubilee. It reminds me of Hirata's sequence in JJK Season 2 with Todo. The effects are great and the hair repeatedly flailing around just communicates to you that Bakugo is, again, going really fast. Then the camera zooming with more and more effects. Sugita is Kami, bro. The explosions is Hirata with subtle details like the leaf coming across the screen, and Izuta again with these very spiky smears that is similar to Yutapon. Same goes with this shot of the hand. The molten lava effects is the same style as Yutapon when he animates things melting. Just goes to show how Izuta is inspired by the Go himself and doing it really well. Toshiki Sato's sequence, very Sato energy with the design more angular but still in a fluid nature. The standout part is these effects, man. Classic Sato effects with unconventional shapes with multiple shaded colors. I mean, these many flares is just gonna be some type of world record, bro. Like, bro is just spamming it. And he also sneaked a massive flare or a Gynex flare, Gurren Lagann flare, whatever. And this drawing again, amazing. I'm gonna keep saying amazing, I don't care. The highlight of the episode for me, in terms of animation, Vincent's sequence, love the zoom out from Bakugo's eye. The way he visualized all the sweat drops flowing through his body, with Vincent highlights the inside of a human's body. I mean, effects are stellar. I'm guessing this is Hone Hone's boards. Maybe Vincent tweaked it a bit, I don't know. Then comes another Frenchman. After Vincent, Tamerlan Bek Murza. I'm not gonna attempt to say that again. Of course, Michibata are the ones that invited Vincent and Tamerlan. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, I'm sorry. Maybe he wanted to animate a scene beside Vincent's cut. It mixed really well with Vincent's cut. The fireworks, very digital fireworks, like pen and paper drawing type shit. And the slow-mo with the effects when Bakugo cut up to All for One is so great. Then comes Yusuke Oshida with a more choppy, very frantic character acting shot. This shot composition really reminds me of Nakamura's shot with the close-up of Deku's shoes. It has the same idea. And Jason Yao again went crazy. The 3D background integration is amazing, although the model could have been better, but that's beside the point. The POV shot with everything hand-drawn, by the way. Crazy work. And yes, Bakugo. Play the music. And finally, Shuhei Fukuda has been absent for a while with My Hero's TV series. He didn't appear in season 7, although he did a lot in the 4th movie. And of course, he's busy being the main action animator for the One Piece remake in Wit, hence he's under Wit right now. But again, very, very Utapon inspired animator. I mean, this is a clear reference to the most influential cuts of animation. Nakamura animating the Deku vs Todoroki climactic moment, the timing, the hand movement, the impact frames are very Utapon-esque. Same goes with the stretching of the characters. Very smeary like Nakamura always does. It's textbook Fukuda stuff and Takashi Morita to end off the episode with some great character acting. I think it goes to show what this team can do with more time, since it is 1 core seasons, but I didn't expect it to reach this level of peak. I can't wait for more episodes. Hopefully some episodes can get that quality that this episode had. I'm praying. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what your thoughts about this My Hero episode. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.